My goodness, we have so much to talk about today with our powerhouse roundtable, so let's get to it.
So little time. Introductions first. Nancy Ankrum is the editorial page editor at the Miami Herald. Jay Narang is business executive in Broward and serves on the executive board of the Republican Party of Florida. Andrea Robinson is a veteran South Florida journalist and a reporter with the Miami Times. Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
What would you like to talk about today?
Oh, I don't know.
All right, so the legislature is going to, it appears, pass a bill. But Jay Narang, let me begin with you. This bill does have, it appears, some useful provisions with mental health counseling, school resource officers, a number of things that are good, but it doesn't have a ban on assault weapons, which is what these kids at Stoneman Douglas and throughout the state, people think civilians should not be able to buy and have these guns. So what do you think about what the legislature, is the legislature gone far enough or too far?
So first of all, with the bill that's being considered in the Senate Bill 7026, Senator Galvano, he talked about it, that this is not the end. This is the beginning of the process, so we should keep that in mind. However, at the same time, Mr. Harvey had a point. This has been done before in 1994.
Yeah,
the bill was signed.
To 2004, 10 years.
Yeah, federal assault rifle ban.
Right.
And that did not do the trick. Why? Because it is very difficult to define what an assault rifle is. They considered only 18 weapons in that one. There was a stunt that the Democrats pulled, HB 219. They went around the committee just to trick the Republicans and just kind of a political stunt. But they were listing the weapons there,
or
and they listed about
moment,
90.
as they said.
Well, I mean, nobody, even Jared Moskowitz, one of the Democrat representatives, the one from Parkland, he was complaining about it, and he ribbed them for doing that, and he said, well, this is not how you're going to solve this problem. However, what I'm getting at is that even that bill went on to list the weapons, had about 80 or 90. Senator Feinstein tried that.
Yeah, the manufacturers, Nancy, keep changing the names or one little item about the weapons, so that once they've been identified, then it's another weapon, which essentially replicates the M4, M16, the military-style weapons.
The 10-year assault ban from 1994 has mixed results. It did not do nothing. However, it also did not, it was not a magic bullet, which I'm sorry is a bad pun. I think for the purposes of this legislature, it's time to take an assault weapons ban off the table. This legislature does not want to do it. Why waste the time? I am very concerned about arming teachers. I would like Governor Scott to veto that. He too says he's against it, and I think he should prove it.
You know, you bring up a big, all of the work that's being done in these 2 weeks, all of the passion invested since February 14th. Andrea, this bill, they call them omnibus bills. There's so much in here that could be potentially unprecedented, and with a stroke of a veto pen because of one of the items, it could be nothing.
It could be, but our populace, the people in Florida, want something done. I would not take the ban off the table. I look at this not just from Parkland, but on an everyday basis, especially in inner city areas. Just on your webpage today, the shooting where 4 people were shot.
Liberty City.
In Liberty City.
Teenagers.
Yes, teenagers. Something has to be done. People want relief. The legislature has made it so easy for people to purchase weapons in this state, and weapons, we are beholden to them. We don't need to live like this.
So there are, among the components, Jay, there are giant loopholes. Senator Galvano said that yesterday. You know, you hear the word loophole, and the immediate question is, so what's the point?
Exactly. So that's why I agree with Andrea there, that and Nancy actually, who mentioned that we should stop talking about assault rifle ban. We should talk about solutions that really work. If we really want to fix this problem, and this is for the parents that are listening today and watching, what you have is go in and look at your kid and find out what they really are learning at school. Do you know what clubs they're members of? Do you know what they're learning at school? If you don't know that, that's a problem. The problem is parenting. The problem is our social media. The problem is the phones that we have handed to these people. The problem is the Hollywood movies. We are dehumanizing human life.
Well, there are cultural...
The problem is also guns. I think that your solution is the equivalent of offering thoughts and prayers.
No, it's not.
Guns
no, it's not.
too
It comes
are
from
the problem. I do have to agree, though, that banning assault weapons cannot and should be done in the last 2 weeks of the legislature. It's not going to happen. However, when I say take it off the table, I mean for this legislative session. It is a conversation that must be had, and it must be had comprehensively.
But Jay, we had this discussion earlier as we were waiting in the green room that the parents, yes, they can do so much, but there are so many other things that are at play here that are not being addressed, and we cannot. You take other countries where they play the video games, where the same things that are going on here, but they don't have these mass killings. We are not. No, they are not having these. No, they're not having these shoot 'em ups where people are just dying. And we are derelict. We are derelict of duty here if we don't come up with something.
Andrea, the kids
people should not have to die,
to Asia,
whether it's in a
I
country or whether
Europe,
it's in a classroom.
And I will tell you that that's not the case. They do not have access to this kind of media
or in the
that
streets of
our
Liberty
kids
City.
have access
we
to.
are
I'm sorry
tired
to
of having to
speak over
bury
you.
people
That's
because
okay.
of these guns.
Okay, hold on. Time out here. I would say 1996, I have read that Australia had a mass shooting, 35 people died, and the Australian legislature, the government there, outlawed assault weapons, and there have been zero mass shootings since then. Of course, Australia doesn't have a Second Amendment, which we obviously do. All right, everybody hold your thoughts. We're going to take a brief, no, we're not. Okay, we'll be right back.